Hello and welcome, I'm SimUK and this is my Ori and the Will of the Wisps review. From Moon Studios and Xbox Game Studios. This game runs on the Unity engine and oh my word, does it look good. This action-packed, side-scrolling platformer puzzler is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, and this time you'll embark upon a new journey in a vast, exotic world beyond the Forest of Nibel, where you'll encounter towering enemies and challenging puzzles on your quest to unravel Ori's destiny. Your ultimate task is to find Owlet Q, who, having just obtained the power of flight, has been separated from you after flying into an unexpected storm. Right from the outset, the game is an emotionally charged experience of parental separation and loss, which drives you deeper into the unknown, defeating each end-of-level boss one at a time, and each of the additional creatures you'll encounter are intriguing, dangerous, and at times, helpful to your plight. The game released on the 11th of March 2020, and on Steam at least it will cost you £24.99. Artistically, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a breathtaking explosion of particle effects which is entwined within a rich and rewarding multi-layered and evolving world, further heightened by the shadows and lighting masterclass that is on offer here. The main protagonist is Ori, which in Hebrew means my light. Ori is a spirit guardian capable of extraordinary feats, maneuvers and abilities. Ori is white and blue in colour and takes on a bunny-like form with cat-like reflexes and the heart of a lion. Each level is so detailed and carefully crafted to ensure that the atmospheric environment remains constant throughout. Much of the combat in this platform puzzler is performed at high pace and intensity, and working out your opponent's weakness and exploiting it with near-perfect timing is what this game is all about. It is very well optimised and it runs like a dream. Now, I'm not much of a platformer, especially when it comes to puzzle-led platform titles. Throw in some side-scrolling combat too, and I'm so far out of my comfort zone you might as well throw me a life ring. This review is not meant for those who have played the original and have just been chomping at the bit to get their hands on this sequel. This review is for people like me who caught sight of some gameplay and have perhaps heard the glowing and at times gushing reviews which have been coming in from all of the best and most respected critical review sources and wondered if perhaps this was something that you should check out. In my case, games like this pique my interest on my daughter's behalf. I wondered if this was something she might not only enjoy playing, but might be one of those games which have an impact on you and stay with you forever. My daughter is 7, and this game is not suitable for her. The complex, or rather frustrating and toing and froing required in order to progress through the puzzles would lose her interest far too quickly. New to Ori and the Wisps is the aggressive, shocking and at times frightening boss fights. Having never played the original, I was unaware that this brutal and at times intimidating feature of the game was new. And as a parent, I must say that whilst the original was considered to be more of an enchanted experience, these boss fights would be far more likely to invoke nightmares than pleasant feel-good memories of a once-loved childhood game. So pretty quickly I realised that this game would have to entertain either me or my wife. My wife turned it down point blank, as she said games like this simply annoy her. So it's down to me. Could Ori and Will of the Wisps take me on a magical journey of challenge, opportunity and intrigue? In the past I have played many and thoroughly enjoyed similar titles to this, such as Rhyme, Trine, and although sadly it doesn't rhyme, most recently I have also enjoyed playing The Pedestrian, a wonderful puzzle game that you should definitely check out. But Ori and the Will of the Wisps, with all of its beauty and all of its established media telling me that this is an absolute must-play and how it's a triumph for platforming games, I found it to be quite boring, repetitive, and extremely frustrating. I played for about 2 hours, which isn't much, but for most of that time I was having to literally force myself to keep playing. I just did not enjoy the way in which this game flowed. I think for most people, they put it down to about 8 hours of solid gameplay in order to complete it. And I fear that most of that time would have been spent going back the way you just came, trying to find a way to progress, or how to obtain something which you physically, completely could never get to until you unlocked a certain special ability. That by definition is frustrating. It simply is not fun to play something that is completely out of your reach and then ask you to retrace your steps later on in the game in order to retrieve something that you barely cared about in the first place, but now you absolutely require if you want to progress. The environment is stunning, of that I have absolutely no doubt, but it's also quite repetitive, samey, and so much so, it's actually quite easy to get confused with where you are and even lost, which is even more frustrating. There are 3 levels of difficulty in this game. Thankfully, I played on normal. Perhaps I should have just gone for easy, like most YouTubers do, and just blasted my way through it all. But medium is how the game was meant to be played. It says that in the description. How did they plan the gameplay route out? Who decided that putting things in a position where you can't get them now and would have to go back later and get them was a good idea? I'll be honest, I started becoming frustrated with this game when I had hit the A button in order to cling onto a wall for something like the 10,000th time. Then I suddenly unlocked an ability that enabled me to cling to walls automatically. Why put me through that annoyance for so long? Why not just start me with that ability, or at least 60 seconds in allow me to unlock it? Do you think I remember that time fondly when I was without the ability to cling onto walls? Do you remember when you couldn't even hang on to a wall? Yes, I do, and I absolutely hated it. The ambience and audio in this game is astounding. The audio is as high a quality as the visuals are. They're simply sublime. The in-game music is relaxing and pretty good actually, but is totally undermined by the frustration that the game evokes itself. The user interface is good, the map I didn't like in particular. Everything else in this game has had huge amounts of time, detail and attention placed upon it. But the map, however, appears to be something of a 5-minute afterthought. And it's so essential to your progress that it really needs to be just better. The controls in this game are pretty simple. A is jump, it's also the button that you use to cling on for dear life until you unlock the ability to cling on automatically. And X, Y and B can all be assigned to special ability attacks or moves. Ori can unlock these special abilities which can be swapped and changed at will, but in order to unlock them, Ori must discover these light givers, and as you progress through the game you will unlock more and more of these. Thankfully they are all unlocked right from the start, and it's just down to you being able to purchase them as you see fit. You are therefore able to switch and change between the special abilities and certain attack moves at will, and at times you will need to do that, because a certain ability will be required in order to reach a particular area or to defeat a particularly difficult foe, or at the very, very least, it will make it much, much easier on you. On Steam, as I mentioned, this game is £24.99. For the fans of this kind of game, and especially the original, that might well be an acceptable price. But for me, I would never get £24.99 worth of value from this title. I didn't get given this game. I have access to the Xbox Game Pass title, which I pay, I think, about £3 a month for. Now, there's a lot of games on there that I already own and a lot of games that I'm not interested in. And this is available on that pass. So if you're not interested in owning the game but you want to try it out, then maybe consider looking at the Xbox Game Pass for PC. So far I'm happy with my purchase and I'm happy to stick with it at the current price. It does enable me to get access to games like this and try them out at a reasonable price before I decide to buy. Now, for most players who have already experienced the first title, it seems that 8 hours from end to end is the norm. Playing on the hardest difficulty might well elongate that, and obviously, playing on the easiest setting, you might breeze through it much quicker. For me, this game offers no replayability whatsoever. I would consider it something of a punishment to have to play this game again, and that is actually a massive shame. Because it is beautiful, it is wondrous, and it has charm at every turn. But that all amounts to very little when you personally find the game to be laborious, repetitive, and at no point was it able to evoke any kind of emotional connection or care for my characters or their plight. This might well be a development marvel for platforming, but I would hope that next time they consider employing a better storyteller and a better games map designer, because ultimately this is where the game and I parted ways. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this review has been useful for you. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think. Till next time, take care. Goodbye for now.